Hi, thank you for watching. My name is Domenico Scalise with Weichert Realtors in Sussex County, New Jersey. And I recently did a video about mortgage types, and I had a couple of people say they liked it, so I wanted to do another video that kind of went on some questions I get asked a lot. Okay, and so we'll do that. I have 9 questions that I've seen that have come up a lot, rather frequently. And of course, number 1 is briefly what I went over on the last video. What's the first step? And that's obviously mortgage. Refer to my first video if you did not see that. It's really good, and it goes into the different types of mortgages, and it'll inform you on something you might not know much about. Okay, so the first step is, of course, pre-approval. Unless you're cash, but if you're not cash, you want to know what your purchase power is. You don't want to be looking at stuff that you don't know you're qualified for, and I'm not a lending expert, and neither are yourself, so there's no point in trying to just make it up in our head what we think you're worth. The best people to do that are going to be professionals in the industry, which, again, feel free to message me, and I can gladly give you their numbers. Another one I get a lot of time is, how long does it typically take to find a house, buy a house, to close everything? And that depends typically on person and also your situation. But some people might go a year looking, a year plus looking, and not see something they like. And some might see something they like 1 or 2 times out. The best thing to do is obviously look online first. If you're new into it, go to open houses, really see it then. Once you are starting to understand a little bit about what you want and what you don't want, that's when you start really hammering out your showings and really go see these houses. You don't want to do it too early, though, because by the time then you're going to want to go back, that house might not still be available. Okay? So, but typically on person, but once you find a house you like and you submit an offer, there's times where it can easily be done within 30 to 45 days once it's accepted. But I would say your comfortable number could be 3 months. A lot of the times I'll set that off as the comfort number with certain types of loans and everything like that. Comfortably, again. Number 3 would be for buyers. What does it cost to use a realtor? And actually, it doesn't cost anything most of the time, I should say, because there are instances if it were a for sale by owner. However, most of the time, even a for sale by owner is going to offer buyer compensation because they're bringing a buyer. So they should, if we're the people who work with the buyers, so there's no reason to kind of cast this out. You're really cutting yourself thin if that was how it were to work. So it costs nothing for a buyer. It's done by the seller. It's negotiated by the seller, by the listing agent, and then the buying agent and listing agent have a setup as well in which offers a certain amount of percentage for producing a buyer. So that's another thing to take in mind. Obviously, you want to have someone that you trust because it depends on the closing whether or not they're going to actually get paid. So you want someone who's going to make sure they're looking in your best interest and not so much just a paycheck. If you don't use an agent and you just call a number that doesn't save you any money, you're still going to have to pay, you're still not going to pay a compensation. It's going to come out of the listing side. Another big thing. So keep that in mind as well, that you're not going to save costs. So if you have a realtor you trust, but you feel like maybe I don't want to pay, that's not how it works. Give them a call. You want people you trust in this business. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. And number 4 would be advice for first-time home buyers. Obviously, like I just said, you want to trust the professionals in the business. Trust your realtor. Trust your lenders. Trust your attorney. Your lender and your attorney, most likely you're not going to meet until closing, so it's all going to be done on the phone or email. So you want to make sure you build a good relationship. When I first speak to my clients, what I like to do is offer a few lenders that I like to work with and a few attorneys that I like to work with and allow them to feel who they feel comfortable with, because you're going to be the one who you're working with. And that goes for realtors too. You want someone that you can call and feel comfortable about with your requests and everything like that. Okay? And also don't everything you hear from outside sources, don't take it with a grain of salt. You have to trust yourself. Don't always be easily persuaded by friends because you're going to be the one who's might regret it. And real estate's a very broad topic. Trust the professionals. I can't make calls on certain appliances, utilities. That same with other people. I wouldn't take their word for it unless they were actually professionals in that industry, in that specific field. That's when you can trust them, such as inspectors, people like that. That's going to be the people you want to put your real faith in, okay? Because everyone wants to have an opinion when it comes to real estate. It's such a broad topic, like I said. So really trust professionals. Trust yourself. Again, trust yourself. Always trust your gut. If you don't feel like something's right, say it and look further into it. Credit score. What's a good credit score to start looking or to get a loan? Most loans are 620 and above. However, FHA will do 580 or sometimes even below. However, it might require a 10% down payment. So that's a good insight as well as to where you should be. Again, if you think you're low, reach out to me. I have lenders that work with people and they get them on track so that they can get in the process to where they could buy in a smooth fashion. And also, is there special programs that are offered in lending? And yeah, there are. Always ask. Whenever I talk to people, I say make sure you call your bank, see if they have certain programs. There's the basics like discussed in my first video, FHA, VA, USDA. However, there's still special programs like turnkey options that might have a down payment assistance. VA loans, there's certain VA loans that are special kinds that might not be as restrictive. So you definitely want to look into all options. See what everything that's put on the table. How much does it usually cost for a down payment? It's usually 3 to 5%. Obviously, USDA and VA loans are different, but most of the time, 3 to 5% is typical. Besides down payment, what's some other fees that you can expect? Well, down payment is the largest fee. Next up is usually the lending fees, and most lenders charge between about 2 and 4%. And maybe a little more, a little less, depending on everything else that they run for you. Again, the only way to really know is to talk to a lending expert, and the way to do that is contact a realtor like myself, who could put you into someone that they trust, they work with, or call your bank, like I said. And then once you get good advice, or you know where you're at, contact a realtor like myself, and then you're basically start rolling. At least start looking into the path. You might not even be ready to buy yet, and that doesn't mean that you just have to throw it away. That still puts you in a position where you can sit down and talk and go over the process and how it works. And the next question is keys. When do you get the keys? Well, it depends, but typically, and I'd say 99% of the time, it's at closing. Obviously, it depends on the loan closing more than anything. Before anything, it's all about the loan. Closing dates change a lot of the times, and it's all on the loan. Unfortunately, it's not leisure. It's the loan. The loan has to be there in order to close. So I hope you really like this video. If you have specific questions, feel free to comment and ask that, and I'll gladly put them in a video. If you have a specific question you'd like to be featured in a video, I'd be more than happy. As well, if you have personal questions about real estate or anything like that, feel free to message me. If you need referrals, anything like that, I'd be more than happy to help. So give me a call or reach out to me. My information will be provided. Thanks again, and share this video. It might help someone out. Take care.